It's time now for Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Catch up with everything that's going on at Anderson Speedway with Rick Dawson and Gary Mong.
Good evening. Welcome to Track Talk. Rick Dawson and Gary Mong. We're at the special event studio at the Mount.
Are you sure?
Anderson. No, I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh.
What a day.
Yes.
It was nonstop
I
this
can't
morning.
stop.
It was a nice day. Of course, as you all know, we taped this on Tuesday evening, so it was a beautiful day. It got up to 54 degrees. I almost didn't wear my jacket when I walked outside
didn't either, but
once.
I did.
But being as I've had it once, I don't want it again.
Yes.
So,
And I haven't had it all, so I don't want it, period.
we got a special guest. Our good friend Ken De La Bastide's going to be on the line here shortly. Racing fanatic and
he follows
rider,
it everywhere.
Sports writer, knows about as much about it as anybody.
Sure
so
does.
we'll have him on the air here shortly. But we had a couple of events go on this past weekend. Brenda, my wife, and myself went back down to Indianapolis, back to the Grand Hall at Union Station. By the way, if you've ever had the chance to go there, go. That's a beautiful building.
Absolutely beautiful.
And and when I told Brenda we were going, she says, "How old is he?" Our good friend and racer, Dakota Armstrong, took his vows Saturday and is now an old married man.
Did you find out how old is he now?
I forgot. Well, you don't ask somebody
I
that
know,
at their
but
wedding.
23 or 24, I'm going to say.
He's still a kid to me. I mean, I even remember when we had to give him special permission to drive a sprint car, and I think he was only like 14.
Wow.
But I imagine Dakota's probably 24, 25 now. And, of course, races in the Nationwide Series as a full-time ride again this year.
That's great.
So,
well, the Xfinity Series, I think is what it's going to be called now.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
But Craig and his mom, Marty, were there and all decked out, and it was just a lot of folks there, huge folks, and a big reception afterwards. It was just magnificent. So congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Dakota Armstrong.
Yes. That's going to be kind of hard to get used to, isn't it?
Yeah. So we did that this past weekend. We've been extremely busy, and I know you folks get tired of hearing me say that, but it's I actually talked to Davey Hamilton. That's got everybody knows Davey Hamilton,
Yes.
Indy 500 driver and race car driver. I've talked to him a couple of times, and he's got his King of the Wings series, who we've been talking to him a little bit about. But he says, I'm ready to go to the racetrack so I can rest. I said, well, now you kind of know what it's like. This time of year, we are busier than we are during the season.
Absolutely.
And especially for us, when you're trying to plan upwards of 50 separate events and throw one of those events being the Payless Little 500 and then the Stoops Freightliner Redbud 300, it is a massive task. But I fortunately have good people around me that can clean up my screw-ups. And
you actually do that?
I do frequently, and more so.
He admits it on the radio, too.
Okay, I can tell you that you were actually here before me for the first time, I think, ever.
First time ever. All right.
So I'll give you credit.
Okay.
But one thing I want to bring out to all of our competitors, of course, we got the rules are posted on the website now. They're complete and done. One kind of major thing that we missed on the first one when we put it up first thing last week, and hopefully everybody didn't print because we got it changed with less than a day. In the figure eight rules, we have a special type of shock, and we had the one wrong letter. That we had W/D as in dog. It's actually W/B as in boy. So you want to make sure you get that. I guess there's a
difference. Is that a difference in price?
Yeah, the WDs are like $475 a piece.
Oh my!
And
gosh.
the WBs are less than $70. So
we want the WB.
Huge.
Keep the price down.
But thanks to Gary Milner for pointing that out, and Jack Neal for doing it. I know when Joe and Kenny were talking, it's easy to confuse a B with a D when you say it. So
right.
Got that fixed, but all the rules are up. Of course, the street stocks and late models pretty much mirror the CRA rules for those divisions. The Pro Compacts, pretty much mirror the VORS Compact Touring Series.
That makes it easy for everybody.
We actually just have one division with our own rules. I mean, we had input in all of them.
Right.
But, and that's our new Hearts Service Center figure eights.
And we know a lot of them being built out there. We keep hearing about it week in and week out.
And then the Thunder Roasters are, of course, INEX makes the rules for them. So we are getting a lot of interest. You know, I got another street stock call me this week, a new one. Jack Neal, I talked to him the other day. He's got another. He had another late model that got purchased, and they're calling him for information. So if we ever get to March, we're going to
have some cars.
We're going to have a great season.
We
this
are.
year.
I'm so excited, looking forward to it.
Big race going on this weekend down at Cordele, Georgia, at Watermelon Capital Speedway. It is the Speed Fest, an annual event normally sanctioned by the CRA Series, and they've got the CRA Super Series down there along with the JEGS Series, both late models. What did I tell you a while ago? 28 cars entered
for the Super Series.
For the Super Series, which is cool, and there's some good drivers. Of course, Dalton Armstrong, who was the best man in the wedding last Saturday night,
he's gonna go racing, is
going to be down there. John Hunter Nemechek's going to be there. Chase Elliott's going to be down there, and a list of 28 drivers.
If I remember, last year didn't Chase win the Super Series, and John Hunter Nemechek won the JEGS.
Yes.
So they're both entering the Super Series this year, so that should be good.
Should be a good race.
Yes.
And all their folks will be down there. We'll talk a little bit more about that after the break, but right now on the phone we have a good friend of everybody's and especially auto racing and especially us at Anderson Speedway, our good friend Ken Dale Bastide from the Anderson Herald Bulletin. How you doing tonight, Ken?
I'm doing good, gentlemen. Enjoying the warm weather.
Isn't it nice?
And it's nice. Well,
I was thinking we ought to be racing at Anderson Speedway.
Well, actually, I didn't go out and look today, but I did last evening. We still had quite a bit of snow up in Turn 4 and in Turn 2. So
where the sun really didn't quite hit.
I'm sure it's probably about gone now, but you're right. I would rather be out there racing.
There
that's
you go.
for sure.
Hey, all you got to do is schedule a snowmobile race, man.
I know, but we can't keep snow on the banks. That's the only problem.
All right. Hey, Gary, work on that.
Yeah. Well, Ken, you know more about racing than about anybody that I know around here. Tell us what to look forward to this time of year. Of course, there's a lot of talk and a lot of optimism and everything. Tell us how you feel about the 2015 season, not only at Anderson but across the board.
You know, I'm actually pretty excited about the upcoming season, and several reasons. One is, today we got the announcement from CRA that the $100,000 Triple Crown is back for a third year, and Anderson Speedway is the middle jewel in that crown, along with Berlin and Winchester. So that's always exciting to hear. Gives a little bit more emphasis, I guess, on the Redbud 300.
Yep.
And
so
Johnny
I think Van Dorn
great.
about won that 2 years ago.
Yeah, John Van Dorn got real close to it. So I'm excited about that. I just think it's going to be a great season. There's going to be a lot of good racing in Central Indiana, and I like the schedule, Rick, you put together, and I like the way you're working with Lucas Oil. To keep the guys competitive and able to race on a regular basis. So I'm excited about that. I'm not as excited about the Cup season, only because I'm not a big fan of the chase format. But I think it's going to be an interesting year in Cup. I'm going to be kind of curious to see how Carl Edwards fares with his new team. I think that'll be interesting to watch. But, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sorry?
I was going to say, what about IndyCar? Anything on IndyCar that you see?
I just think, I wish they would add some more oval races. I like what they do, but I'd rather see more oval races than modified street courses. I think the fields are going to be good. We'll have to see what comes out of this new car that they're putting together, the new package. I hope it's as competitive as what they've had. I mean, the last three Indy 500s have been some of the best I've seen in a long time, and I think most of the fans would agree. Probably the best racing there is. But, Rick, this past weekend I watched the Chili Bowl out in Tulsa.
Huge.
And it was huge. It's a huge event, and that's on my bucket list. But throughout the week I watched, because they actually started racing on, I believe it was Wednesday, and over 300 midget teams were there. And, you got to work your way up through all these qualifying and heat races and feature races and a whole bit to come down to the last 24. But when I was looking at that list, I thought about all the drivers on that list that have raced in Central Indiana. Anderson Speedway, Winchester, Kokomo, Lucas Oil. I mean, rookie Spencer Basin, who was the champion with Kenyon Midgets just 2 years ago.
Yep.
Was in that race on Saturday night, so he made his way through 300 other drivers to be in the feature, which is incredible for a rookie to do that. I mean, that just shows you the kind of talent that's come through, Anderson Speedway. I mean, how many times did Spencer Basin race at Anderson? And then you got Shane Cottle was there, Chris Wyndham, a little 500 winner, Brian Clausen, Jerry Coombs. I mean, the list goes on. And man, how do you not love being in Central Indiana during the summer months when it's racing season? You see the best. I mean, literally see the best.
And Don Kenyon and Eric Bunn with the USSA series and the Kenyon Midgets are always big on trying to have autograph sessions with their drivers, and you never know whose autograph you're going to get when these 12 and 13-year-old kids signed your autograph. What was it last year? 4 out of the top 6 of the how did it work? Was it 4 out of the top 6 in the Little 500 last year had raced in the Kenyon Midgets?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Maybe the winners. Maybe the last 4 out of 6.
Well, Jacob did.
Jacob Wilson did. Chris Wyndham did. I mean, it's a list, and these are the young kids that are coming up. I mean, of course, Chase had a famous dad, or has a famous dad in last name, but 4 years ago, Chase Elliott showed up at Anderson Speedway in a late model.
Yes.
Yep.
And who would have thought that, there's a kid that's going to go to the top of the heap, just mark my word.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that.
And Dakota Armstrong, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, if you want to go way back, which is back in you and Gary's time, we can start talking about the Mark Martins and the
Rusty Wallaces
and the Waltrips.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they all come through Anderson Speedway, and it's really neat because when I go to other tracks or other races or shows and see these people and even these drivers, they know Anderson Speedway.
Yes.
And what's really becoming neat now is when I'm talking to them, they start talking about Anderson, Indiana too, which is very important to me in the survival of the racetrack. So,
look at the guys that raced last year in the mechanical engine performance late model. Jack Dossie, the third.
Right.
Billy Van Meter, Quentin Bear. These are all young kids that we're going to hear about down the road.
Absolutely.
CRA Super Series, and then beyond that, possibly. I mean, It's not beyond the realm of my imagination that all of a sudden I'm going to see Jack Dossie III in an ARCA car, or a Travis Baden, who runs with CR8 and was there twice a year. Right. I mean, those guys are all on track to move up that ladder. And, in 10 years, we're going to say, man, do you remember that race when Jeff Markham held off Jack Dossie for probably one of the best races of 2014? And people go, yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
That's what we're going to see.
And Ken,
it's going to be the same thing in the sprint cars.
Exactly. And Kyle Jones is another one that raced with CRA
Eric Jones.
Eric Jones. I keep wanting to call him Kyle. Eric Jones. Look where he's going.
And then it almost, guys, Rick, you too, it's almost like it's deja vu from back when we had late models and we had ASA and they all kind of stepped up. It's kind of going through that same cycle again.
It's just unfortunate that the upper levels of racing, and I'm talking about NASCAR, IndyCar, don't realize there are so many of these young talents out there that don't make it.
Right.
And they don't have a venue for them to get there unless they've got a big silver spoon in their pocket. And the problem with that is probably 90% of those that have the silver spoons shouldn't be in a race car.
Right.
And there's 10% that do, but that are really talented. But we've got a lot of talent out there that's going untapped, and NASCAR and IndyCar don't have a good way to get there unless you've got money.
It's interesting because today I was looking on a website, and Rico Abreu, who won the Chili Bowl, he's now going stock car racing.
Mm-hmm.
He signed a deal to do K&N East. He says he's going to keep doing all the midget stuff, 100 races a year with the midgets. But that's the kind of guy we need to keep an open wheel.
Yes,
You're absolutely. Right.
And when you lose them, they're gone forever. They might come back and run a race or two, but once they're gone, you lose them. And we got to keep those guys involved in one, open wheel, but two, short track.
Yeah.
Short track is where it's at. If I had $100,000, that I could just kind of like spend. Hey Kelly, I'm going to spend $100,000. I tell
you're like Kelly.
Yeah, she's not here. But I would say, boom, hey Rick, for the whole month, man, just open the gates. Let people come and see what short track racing is all about. Because if they come one time, they'll come back.
Hooked.
I believe it. I firmly believe that.
Hold that thought, Ken. Can you stay with us for a couple minutes? We're up against a break. All right.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more with Ken De La Bastide. You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
When I was a boy, we had family pitch-in dinners on Sunday, so I knew on Saturdays Mom would be in the kitchen baking pies, and especially sugar cream pies. I will never forget pulling a chair up to the table. I always turned the chair around back so I could perch on my knees while watching Mom take her fingers and flute the pie crust. That little squiggly thing all the way around. And of course, after the pies were baked, we would beg and plead with Mom, only to have her put her foot down and say, nope, we were not going to get any pie until everybody came by tomorrow. But on Sunday at the family gathering, that first bite of pie was always worth the wait. Mom's a little older now, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy freshly made sugar cream pies together. Now, instead of Mom making them, I pick up a Wix sugar cream pie. They use simple, fresh ingredients because of Wix rigid freshness standards. The wholesomeness and taste of their pies is better than Mom's. But don't tell her I said that. Now you can pick up a Wix sugar cream pie at most of your local grocery stores. Just look for them in the frozen dessert aisle. I'm Brownie, and I can honestly say about Wix pies, you don't just eat them, you enjoy them.
50 years ago, Tom Raper sold his first camper off a dirt lot in Richmond, Indiana. Since then, Tom Raper RVs has grown to be one of the largest RV dealers in America, selling the top brands at the best prices. That's why folks like you come from all over the Midwest to buy their recreational vehicles from Tom Raper RVs. Why, we reckon we've sold over 100,000 campers since we started. That's a lot of campers. That's a lot of fun. Tom Raper RVs in Richmond or online at tomraper.com.
Heart attack, stroke, serious injury. A sudden health crisis can happen to anyone at any time. So when bad things happen, choose good people. St. Vincent Anderson Regional Hospital has the area's most advanced emergency care, with a state-designated Level 3 trauma center, an internationally accredited chest pain center for heart attack patients, and advanced certification for primary stroke care. We have all the resources to deliver the care you need for any serious or life-threatening emergency. St. Vincent Anderson Regional is the only emergency department in the area with an on-site helicopter. And our $27 million state-of-the-art surgery pavilion opens later this year. Bad things can happen to anyone. Thankfully, good people are ready to help. Choose emergency care from St. Vincent Anderson Regional, the spirit of caring. Visit stvincent.org/Anderson Region to learn more.
Honey, stop! Oh my gosh, that's Diggity's back there.
You mean the new Diggity's Frozen Treat Factory?
I heard it's unbelievable. Everybody's talking about it. They have everything yummy.
Yeah, I heard they have ice cream, yogurt, custard, sorbet.
And gelato, plus fruit smoothies, and that's just the beginning.
I heard Diggity's has over 250 toppings, not 30 or 40 like those other places, and you can even get the candy to go separately.
We can eat outside on their huge patio by the fire, too.
Okay, let's see. Frozen yogurt, ice cream, custard, sorbet, and gelato with 250 toppings? Or a plain old frozen yogurt shop with limited toppings?
Diggity's it is!
Diggity's wants to cater your event. Diggity's can set up at your event inside or out and provide delicious smoothies, frozen cappuccinos, candies, and frozen treats to your guests. Diggity's is perfect for weddings, company picnics, group outings, sporting events, festivals, you name it, just call Diggity's. 765-393-0033 today for more information.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests and not this station.
I know this one.
Rock and roll fantasy.
Yes.
Come on, Gary. Not Grand Funk Railroad. Something bad. Company, maybe? We're back. Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Talking to our good friend Ken De La Bastide. Ken, I want to stray just a little bit off of racing. We got about 3 minutes. Stray a little bit off of racing. You're pretty deeply ingrained by virtue of your position at the newspaper and do a lot of governmental reporting. What's your general feel now compared to, say, 5 years ago of our city of Anderson and where it's headed, especially economically, but in other areas?
Well, I will say this. We're not doing as well as Kokomo.
Yeah.
Kokomo was saved when Chrysler didn't go bankrupt, when the government loaned them the money. So Kokomo is really booming. Anderson, I would say, is moving slowly in the right direction. Maybe slowly is not the right word. It's moving in the right direction. I mean, we got GTI, we got Nestle's in the last 5 years. We got investments from HDP projects. We got 2 Italian companies come in. We're seeing some progress. We just need to keep building on that progress. I think the best thing that I've heard since I've been back in Anderson after I worked in Kokomo for a few years was this project to the Purdue College of Technology out on the bypass. I think that's going to be a big plus for Anderson. I think it's huge.
Innovative Center or something like that.
Yeah, it's a tech center. There's going to be a lot of engineering and technology work for students, high school students as well as college students. So really, I think it's a forward-thinking project. I am a little disappointed that there's not been more done to bring back the downtown. And I hope that no matter who gets elected mayor this year, that they focus a little bit more on downtown.
There's no place to park.
I'm sorry?
There's no place to park. I was downtown yesterday while the celebration was going on at the Paramount. In fact, I had a meeting at the Paramount afterwards, and there was no place to park.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
that is the problem.
But I do want to say this: I was invited to a roundtable yesterday morning for Dr. King by Jim Warner and his group, and in that room at the Geter Center there was probably 7 or 8 high school kids, and they each introduced themselves. And when they introduced themselves, they said who they were, what grade they were in. They were mostly juniors and seniors from Anderson High School. And not one, and then they tell their grade point average, and not one of those kids' grade point average was less than 3.8, and most of them were over 4, which really humbled me. Wow. And they talked about, how important it was, that their families pushed them, and of course a lot of them, their faith pushed them, and they realized how important their education is and their grades. It just astounded me, and it just gave me a new sense of refreshment that, we have bad things go. That happens all over the world, but here in Anderson, maybe we're getting back to where we need to be so we can build a foundation for a good tomorrow.
I think we are moving in that direction, and I would add one thing. Sometimes Anderson is its own worst enemy. people don't realize the good things that are here or what is offered in Anderson. So they always like, oh man, it's only Anderson. It's only Anderson. Well, it's not only Anderson. It's a place that, you live in and you should be proud of, because there's things in Anderson that other communities in Indiana and the Midwest would love to have.
The Speedway is one of them.
Well, the Speedway is one. The Paramount Theater, Hoosier Park, the Interstate, Mount State Park. Those are all things that other communities wish they had.
Absolutely, and maybe someday a big old water hole we can go skiing in.
Maybe. But I mean, we've got AU, we've got Ivy Tech. We've got a lot here that people overlook. They just need to think about it.
Yeah. Well, Ken, I appreciate you taking the time. We'll look forward to having you on more during the season this year. Thanks for all your great hard work, and we'll talk to you on the flip-flop.
See you down in Georgia, boys.
All right.
Take care. Ken De La Bastide, the reporter for the Anderson Herald Bulletin, everybody's good friend. Want to mention again, this Sunday is the Speed Fest down at Watermelon Capital Speedway. I highly encourage you, if you don't have plans and got some time, to go down and watch the race. If you can't, you can go to the CRA website and you can actually watch it online on Speed 51. I think there's a pay-per-view charge, but it's well worth the money. If you can't be there, their broadcasts are very good, and I think Bob Dillner is actually going to be announcing it. So click on that and get your midwinter racing fix, because it's only less than
about 3 weeks till Daytona.
Well, it's only about 6 weeks. I don't care about Daytona.
You're talking about us.
I'm talking about the real racing.
Yeah,
in
about 8 weeks.
About 6 weeks we'll be on the Speedway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, practice in the middle of March.
We got to practice.
Yes, that's right.
And we're probably going to have cars on before them, because I'm already getting several emails from competitors wanting to know when the track's going to be available to rent. So
if it keeps this up outside,
we're at least getting some decent weather, and hopefully it'll keep up so we won't be behind on the facilities once the weather breaks this year. So make sure you get down and see that. You can still, for another week or so, get our ticket packs. Go to our website, and you can see our another one of our brand new sponsors, Interstate Auto Auction. Great company, great owner. Colin is great. Really, he's like us. He's ate up with racing. You're going to hear and see a lot from them during the season, along with a myriad of other sponsors. I mean, it's just every day getting more and more. So we're really working hard to give you a good racing season and a lot of fun entertainment this year.
And we need to say hi to Aunt Jenny back in Muncie, Indiana.
Hi to Aunt Jenny.
Hope you're doing well.
All my folks at home.
Yes.
And I've lost track of time. Wade told us something a while ago, so I don't know if I need to just continue to babble or just
You got your answer.
Yes, I got my answer right through my headphones. Want to say shout out to our good friend, I haven't done this before, but George Smith, who's in these studios on Mondays and Wednesday nights. Monday, I was listening to one of George's shows, and George wasn't here because of illness. I hope George is feeling better. Also, Maridine Adams, Denny Adams' wife, our announcer, and Jessica, our office manager's mom, has had a little bout with illness, and we're hoping everybody prays for a quick and speedy recovery for Maridine. That takes up about all the 30 minutes that we had.
I think it takes it all.
So next week when we come back, we'll be able to talk some racing. Already got some more guests to talk to lined up, so we're looking forward to that. You all have a great week, and we appreciate you joining us. For Gary Mong, I'm Rick Dawson. Have a great week.